This program is a fantastic opportunity for young researchers who wish to continue their research. It provides researchers with the opportunity to conduct research in another lab in another country and expand their network. In my case, it will provide me the opportunity to work long-term with an excellent mentor in Europe.
The research project we will be working on during my stay aims to evaluate the isolated effect of computer-based activities on the cognitive performance of a group of people with multiple sclerosis who have cognitive impairment. We think it's important to focus on this because new activities have been added since the publication of the paper. Additionally, this would allow us to offer evidence-based neuropsychological rehabilitation services to those who cannot physically attend the hospital, such as people with multiple sclerosis in my country.
Thanks to the ECTRIMS Fellowship, I aim to extend the understanding of gait automatization by exploring the ability to adapt to different environmental conditions, which is called gait adaptability.
Hi, my name is Oscar Ayala. I am a clinical neuropsychologist in Marley Clinic in Bogota, Colombia.
Hello, my name is Zuhal Abasiyanik. I'm a physiotherapist by background. Now I'm currently working at İzmir Katip Çelebi University as a researcher.
And I'm Brett Drummond. You're listening to the ECTRIMS podcast, the official podcast from the European Committee for Treatment and Research in Multiple Sclerosis. Every year, ECTRIMS awards a number of fellowships across a range of categories, which are designed to advance knowledge and expertise in the field of MS. The Research Fellowship aims to help facilitate training in basic, clinical, or applied research. The Clinical Training Fellowship offers neurologists and other physicians the opportunity to learn the latest techniques in patient management and care. The Nurse and Allied Health Professional Fellowship offers an opportunity to obtain or expand expertise in MS care and research through practical experience and training in a mentored MS environment in Europe. As well as these, joint fellowship programs are also run in conjunction with the European Magnums Network for projects related to magnetic resonance studies in MS, and with MSIF to allow young MS researchers from low and middle income countries to work in a research institution outside of their own country. My guests in this episode, Oscar and Zuhal, are two of the recipients of the 2024 fellowships. We will be discussing the projects that they'll be pursuing and how they believe this opportunity will impact on their career. We're going to be starting the episode by talking to Oscar. Oscar, thanks for joining me.
Hi, Brett. Thank you for having me.
I wonder if we could start by you having us tell a little bit about yourself and your background in multiple sclerosis research.
Well, I am a clinical neuropsychologist, and while studying for my master's degree, I had the opportunity to meet people with multiple sclerosis. I decided to focus my thesis on episodic memory and the ability to imagine personal events in multiple sclerosis. Although I completed my master's degree some time ago, my interest in the cognitive aspects of multiple sclerosis has continued. I have participated in research related to detecting cognitive impairment, the effect of disease-modifying therapies on cognition, and the relationship between cognitive impairment and employment status in multiple sclerosis. I have always wanted to be involved in cognitive rehabilitation research because I believe it has a significant impact on the lives of people diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Fantastic, and couldn't agree with you more. When we talk to people living with MS, cognition is certainly an area that they want to see more research in, and it's a thing that they describe that impacts heavily on their quality of life. So definitely a fascinating and really important area of research. What motivated you to apply for the ECTRIMS Fellowship program?
I thought it could be an excellent opportunity to increase my knowledge in cognitive rehabilitation. I believe it's important to learn more about this topic because cognitive impairment, as you say, have a negatively impact on quality of life, and neuropsychological rehabilitation has proven to be the most effective tool to address it. Additionally, the fellowship allows me to learn from a group of experts with experience in this area.
Definitely. So could you describe what the focus of your fellowship project is going to be and what you hope to achieve?
Well, that's a great question. My project during the fellowship is a continuation of research from the Biomedical Research Institute of Girona. Dr. Jordi Guix and his team developed a cognitive rehabilitation program that included written, manipulative, and computer-based activities. These activities showed a positive effect on the cognitive performance of a group of patients with multiple sclerosis, as published in a clinical trial in 2015. The research project we will be working on during my stay aims to evaluate the isolated effect of computer-based activities on the cognitive performance of a group of people with multiple sclerosis who have cognitive impairment. We think it's important to focus on this because new activities have been added since the publication of the paper. Additionally, this would allow us to offer evidence-based neuropsychological rehabilitation services to those who cannot physically attend the hospital, such as people with multiple sclerosis in my country.
So obviously this is a project that's going to have a lot of beneficial outcomes, we hope, for people living with MS. What about for you personally? How do you think this fellowship will impact on your research and professional goals?
That's a great question. When I return to my country, I expect to enhance my knowledge about cognitive rehabilitation to help people with multiple sclerosis for my country. Also, I think it's a great opportunity to learn new techniques and improve the attention of people with multiple sclerosis from my country.
What advice would you give to aspiring researchers who are interested in applying for the ECTRIMS Fellowship program?
In my opinion, it is very important to identify a research group known for publishing information on a topic of interest and establish contact in advance. Having enough time to plan a research project allows us to think about a relevant investigation. Besides this, the knowledge and experience of the team of the Biomedical Research Institute of Girona were crucial in developing the project.
Well, thank you for telling us about that project, Oscar, and for giving your time to record this episode today. It sounds like a really fascinating project that is a project that addresses a clear need in MS, and we really look forward to following the outcomes of your research during this fellowship.
Thank you for having me.
Now we move on to our second fellowship winner for 2024, Zuhal, who is going to talk to us about their project in a very different area of MS research. Thank you, Zuhal, for joining us today. So I thought we might start. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background in MS research?
Okay, thank you very much for the invitation. It is nice to be here. I'm from Turkey. I have been living in Izmir. I'm a physiotherapist by background, and I obtained my master's degree in neurological rehabilitation. And afterwards, I have started my PhD at the same university, and I finished it last year.
Congratulations. That's a big achievement to finish the PhD.
Thank you very much.
And so what motivated you to apply for the ECTRIMS Fellowship program?
Firstly, I can say that this program is a fantastic opportunity for young researchers who wish to continue their research. It provides researchers with the opportunity to conduct research in another lab, in another country, and expand their network. In my case, it will provide me the opportunity to work long-term with an excellent mentor in Europe, is Professor Peter Faes from Belgium, Hasselt University. In addition, I will have a chance to work in a well-equipped lab, which involves high technology for movement analysis and brain imaging techniques, which are very exciting for me as a physiotherapist. And my mentor is very active in research, and he has large international networks, and these are important factors for me. And team is also an important element, and he has multiple PhD students and postdoc in his lab, and it is a good source of interaction during this fellowship for me.
I mean, it sounds really interesting and really exciting. Can you describe the focus of what your fellowship project is going to be and what you're hoping to achieve during your time doing that research?
Of course. In my PhD, I focused on gait automaticity, which means the ability to walk without consciously thinking about your walking pattern, your navigation direction. And this automatic control allows us to perform secondary cognitive or motor activities, such as we have to think while we are walking, talking, or reading message. And when gait is automatic, it is typically smooth, efficient, and safe in daily life, and it requires minimal cognitive resources. But in MS patients, since they have motor and cognitive impairments, we have generally seen impaired gait automaticity. And in my previous studies, we investigated gait automaticity in MS patients in short-term walk and long-term walk. And we also investigated sustained attention during walking. And thanks to the ECTRIMS Fellowship, I aim to extend the understanding of gait automatization by exploring the ability to adapt to different environmental conditions, which is called gait adaptability. It is important because in daily life, for the safe ambulation, we need the ability to make some adjustments of our gait dependent on the environmental conditions, such as we have to step over obstacles, we have to walk on slippery surfaces, stony ground, or there are ladders, there are perturbations from the environment. And in summary, we will investigate the ability of MS patients in different gait adaptability conditions using the safe augmented reality system. It enables us to monitor their gait through high resolution recordings. And we also investigate their brain activity during these adaptability conditions to understand how they plan their movement according to the different conditions. And in this project, we will focus on persons with mild disability because nowadays we know that disease progression initiates early in the disease and it may not be visible with the basic clinical tests. So we need some complex, sensitive assessments to capture these impairments. And with this project, we believe that we can better characterize of mobility impairments in early MS patients, then we can design more effective rehabilitation approaches to improve their walking pattern in their daily life.
I mean, it sounds fascinating using some really interesting technology, and obviously, a project that's going to have a real impact on the lives of people living with MS. Obviously, things that can help improve their mobility has a huge impact on their quality of life. So I think it's a fantastic project and congratulate you on receiving the fellowship to go for it. Obviously, we've talked about big impacts for people living with MS through this research. What about yourself personally? How do you think this fellowship will impact on your research and professional goals?
Well, I'm always looking for new challenges to improve myself in different skills, and I believe that this fellowship is going to be an important step in my career as a researcher. I will learn new skills and I will have expertise in using high-resolution movement analysis system, and I will learn brain imaging techniques during walking or different motor activities. And I will expand my network in movement science and in neuroscience in addition to my existing network. Additionally, as a physiotherapist, it will allow me to deepen understanding of walking impairment in MS patients, and I'm sure that more research questions will come after this project. And yeah.
Okay. And it's such a growing field, certainly from attending ECTRIMS over a number of years. It's something that we're seeing more and more research done into. So a really great opportunity to be expanding in that discipline. What advice would you give to aspiring researchers who are interested in applying for the ECTRIMS Fellowship program in the future?
I may not say these are my advices, but I can try to summarize what I learned from my story. I realized that how important it is to have a good mentor who can support you in your field of interest and who has the potential to provide international networking. At this point, attending conferences or scientific meetings is important. For example, I found my mentor through academic activities. It was a RIMS conference and we met. So it is important point. Of course, an innovative and feasible research proposal is important when applying for this fellowship. And I think it would be beneficial to show how your research will contribute to the field of MS and how it is aligned with the mission of ECTRIMS.
Perfect. And I guess don't be scared to apply, because you never know whether or not you might be successful with it.
Yeah, true.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, Zuhal, and good luck with your project. We're really excited to follow all of the progress that you make in it.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Oscar and Zuhal, and thanks everyone for listening. Once again, I'm Brett Drummond, host of this podcast episode. I'm also co-founder of MSTranslate, an independent resource centre that aims to simplify the complex wealth of information about MS for the greater MS community. The ECTRIMS podcast is produced and hosted in collaboration with two key partners, MSTranslate and the MS Journal, a peer-reviewed international journal that focuses on MS, neuromyelitis optica, and other related autoimmune diseases of the central nervous system. The ECTRIMS podcast is supported by an educational grant from Novartis, Roche, and Alexion AstraZeneca Rare Disease. Educational grant providers have no input on the podcast series content. You can read more about the topic of this latest podcast episode and more on the ECTRIMS website, ectrims.eu. Do subscribe to the ECTRIMS podcast on your favourite podcast channels and follow ECTRIMS on X, formerly Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube.